Let me give Minister Atanga Nji a voice on this. Your position is clear, it's known.
Yes.
That there is no Anglophone problem.
Yes.
You've constantly repeated that.
Yes, and I will say it. I said it yesterday. I'm saying it today. I will say it tomorrow. There is no Anglophone problem in Cameroon, and I've given facts to justify what I see. Prof has said something which is important. He says that an Anglophone has never been a Minister of Defense in Cameroon. Then Reverend Father said that Reverend Father Pastor said that we have to, that the Anglophones will not more talk in the bush, they are inside the parlor. As far back as 1983, President Paul Biya said that you don't need to stay in the bush to air your views. President Paul Biya said, in fact, in French he said, mais vous n'avez plus besoin de prendre le chemin de Maquis pour exprimer vos opinions. That was 1983. So Cameroon has been a free society. You understand? In the New Deal, Cameroonians are free to air their views. And I want to say something which is clear. I was following Radio France International other day, and lawyer Bobga, I want to quote him. Bobga, I don't know the second name. I know he's Bobga.
Yeah, his second name is Harmony.
Yes. And I'm not more interested in to know the second name, because he said that so long as we don't go back to the federal system of government, we cannot solve the problems of the lawyers. That is what he said in Radio France International. And I want to talk about the common law. He started somewhere. He should go back and verify. And in this country, do they use the common law system again? I want to ask him the question. We are talking about the common law. It started somewhere. What is the history of the common law today? And I want to tell him that, okay, he says that so long as we don't have a federal system of government, he thinks that we cannot solve the problem. There is no federal system of government. It's a past issue. We don't talk about things which we have, those facts have been treated, it's over. We talked about the reunification, we came back to 1972, the unification, and now we are talking about a united Cameroon. So there are certain things we can dialogue. I want to make my position very, very clear. Yeah. And I don't talk on behalf of the government, but it is official that we have a red line we can discuss. The Prime Minister was in Bamenda for 2 or 3 days discussing with people. Am I right?
The government, of course.
Yes, the government. Yes. So what I want to tell people is that no, the government is open to dialogue. You understand? And talking about positioning, the Minister of Defense in any country, Prof, is the head of state. I am here as the permanent secretary to the National Security Council in a country. I'm an Anglophone. General Ivo, he has been the director of presidential security for about 17 years. Or in the world, if you don't have confidence in somebody, you cannot give him that responsibility. So if it is, when we talk about marginalization in terms of responsibility and post and things, I don't agree, because we have had all what we need to develop. It's important, because he said something that I've been hearing the story that an Anglophone has never been appointed Minister of Finance, an Anglophone has never been appointed a Minister of Defense, or the delegation of let us be serious.
Let me just point them there and then come back and say the story.
Yes, no, yes. Let us land. I want to end by saying that the Prime Minister, head of government in this country, since 1992. We have had them from Prime Minister Chidiachu to Prime Minister Mafani Musonge to Prime Minister Enoni FM, and for 24 years,
that is beautiful.
The Prime Minister is Prime Minister, head of government.
But so, have you gone through social media? Mr. Atanga Nji. This is what they're saying. This is what they're saying. That if you reduce what you call the problem of English-speaking Cameroon, let me put it saying the Anglophone, apparently an Anglophone is a problem, it's a very delicate word. If you reduce the problems that the other people, the other Camerooners, the other side of the Mungo feel today to just positions and food and all those things are elementary, then there's a problem. That's what they're saying. I straight back to you. Beyond that, do you think there's any other issue that is wrong or that is going wrong within the Anglophone community of which you are a party?
I don't know, as a specific problem. The answer is no, because go to Garwa, go to Maura, go to Gaundere.
That's precisely where.
Go to other regions. You see, when you have a hospital, which is you don't have a hospital here, you don't have a health center, you have bad roads here, you don't have them. You have those problems everywhere in this country, and that's why the government has a program of development. And each year, the ministers who are directly concerned, they bring out those, and we see what can be done. It's a government policy. So what I'm saying, okay, we don't have specific. specific
Your Excellency, 1 minute. Let us go back. Let us go to the crux of the matter. All right, we'll come back to you. Let us go to our videotapes. We sample the issues at stake now, since we're entering into it. Let us sample the issues at stake now. We'll come back. We'll continue the debate. I will give you the microphone just after that.
Early this month, a group of individuals, self-styled Anglophone lawyers, take to the streets, based mostly in the predominantly English-speaking Northwest and Southwest regions. Their demand the protection of a colonial heritage, the common law.
We are gentlemen, we are peaceful, and we have never meant any violence. Our idea is to make our point heard. It is now more than a month that we have been on strike after having notified the government about our dissatisfaction with the erosion of the common law.
Days after, they take a series of actions, including what Justice Minister Laurent Esso calls an illegal formation of an Anglophone Lawyers Association. The Lawyers' Cultural Protection Strike is followed by that of teachers with a similar objective, this time in the education sector.
That a new institutional framework to look into the problems raised by Anglophone teacher trade unions will be put in place by Wednesday, 30th November 2016. That this framework will meet and work in Bamenda for the convenience of the majority of the members. That when at least one other request is fulfilled on or before the 30th of November 2016, the strike shall be suspended.
The trade unions, including the Cameroon Teachers Trade Union, reject an erosion of the Anglo-Saxon system of education through government-planned harmonization policy.
It's only one person who died. Investigations are ongoing to establish the responsibilities. I'm therefore appealing to everybody to resume their normal activities and calling on those who have called for a strike, like the governor has stretched their hand to them, to join government to find out long-lasting solution to the problem they are raised to government.
There are children of 11, 12, 13 up to 17, 25. If I saw anybody slightly old, though he was getting that, should be 30. There was nobody of your age on the street. And when dissension goes to such people, it is very dangerous for us. We can summon a big rally in town here where we'll talk to the people. But this should be after solutions to the teething problems that the people are asking for have come in from Yaoundé. When those solutions come, we can now call the people, talk to them. And the talking will not end here. We can go now to the divisions and subdivisions to talk to the people there.
Children have to listen to their fathers. Put your case in peace, not in disorder. Over 50 years of independence will be here like that. We're handing to them in whole, not in pieces.
After November 21 this year, things seem to be out of control, and the government steps in with a package for dialogue. Press conference here, strike action over there. The tic-tac goes on. Prime Minister Philemon Yang travels to the Northwest region to quench the situation of both the striking lawyers and teachers. The outcome is yet to be known.
One has the impression, Minister Atanga Nji, that the issues at stake now are far beyond just a lawyer strike and a teacher strike. Do you share that view?
Yes, I thank you for, yes, I think that he said that initially it started as lawyers, but now we have foreigners, they have entered inside because the lawyers had finances from, I don't want to call the country, and these funds were distributed, and we have the traces and all this, even some of those teachers, and we asked them that now, you started with the problem, and now you have 10, 20, 50, 30, 70 million francs to go on the streets. What is it all? I think that we have said something which is very, very important. The Minister of State in charge of justice said something. You know, they have the Bar Council, but now you have what they call Meme Lawyers Association and the Northwest
Lawyers Association.
Yes, but those are illegal movements. I want to tell you something. Within the CPDM, when we go in for our meetings, we go to the divisional officer and take an authorization. That is, we have never started any CPDM rally without reading the authorization from the divisional officer. But how can the lawyers go down the street without going to meet? That's undermining the authority of the divisional officer. It is not correct. And because if you are a responsible person, you follow the law. We have to abide by the rules and regulations of our country. But if you default, then you become a vandal. And if you are a vandal, you are treated as such. It has to be clear. No one is above the law. The lawyers, we can agree that they have certain problems, but they have to go and meet the minister instead in charge of justice. The teachers must go and meet their responsible ministers. Then out of that legal forum, they will bring a solution. Not down the street, because if you go down the street without an authorization, you will meet the forces of law and order, and they will treat you as such. That's what we want to. He's talking about conflict management. We want to avoid strict action, because that is not where you have your solutions. So they have to understand that this is a responsible nation and people must be law-abiding. It is very, very important. No one is above the law. I said it yesterday, I'm saying it today, I will say it tomorrow.
You said it 2 days ago too.
No one is above the law. It's a clear message which has to be understood. But at the same time, the government is flexible to listen to those people, to lawyers and the teachers. I want to be very